Fine. This is Naresh here, and I'll be training up you people in MSBI components. Okay. Starting off with SSIS, SSRS, and SSIS. Okay. Fine. So just before I go ahead with the course curriculum and all that stuff, excuse me, I just want to know, like, what is your previous experience and what is that you're looking out in these sessions? Yeah, I'll start off with the Devi and then proceed further. Yeah.
Yeah, Naresh, actually I did my MBA, and after that I worked as an accountant for a few years, and after that I learned SAP FICO. I worked as a level 4 support for a few months, not even a year. During my MBA I learned some SQL basics. I know some SQL basics knowledge. Apart from that, I don't have that much knowledge in MSBI, TSQL, something like that.
Okay. Okay.
But know the basics of the SQL.
Okay, when you say the basics of SQL, you know the basics of select, insert, update, and delete statements, right?
You did.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So that should be more than sufficient enough. And
Okay. That is sounding great.
And, okay. And what is that basically you want to learn from these sessions? Like, do you have any project in hand, or what is the job profile you're looking out for?
Oh, I don't have any project in hand. I want to search for an SQL BA jobs. The market is very nice in USA. I'm seeing. I saw some demo classes in YouTube. What I felt is, personally I can learn this course, and my sister is also working as a DBA administrator, and she suggested me, you can learn and you can go for that.
Okay.
And I can practice a lot.
Yeah, of course, obviously.
I put lots of effort. I can put lots of my efforts.
Yes, yes. Definitely, like, you'll have to put in a lot of practice just to get through all the functionality that is available in MSBI. So the work, the more you work hard on, the more you put on your time. So it's easy. So basically, you'll have to know all the components of your MSBI and all the functionality and the concepts. So once you get all those concepts and functionalities, you're all good. And the only thing that is depending.
Yeah, I'm looking for some real-time scenarios. Whatever you explain, what I'm expecting from you, you explain me and with real-time scenarios. Then I can get some exposure.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll be introducing you to the environment. That's not a problem.
Okay.
And yeah, I think we have 2 more join us. Fine. I just wanted to know, like, what is your previous background and what is that you're looking out for your sessions? So next it would be Hima.
Hi, basically I did my bachelor's in computer science, and I've worked in mainframe technology for about 6.5 years. Now I would like to get trained in MSBI.
Okay. Any experience on any other technologies previously?
No, actually, but I took training in SAP BI.
Oh, you have experience
real-time experience, but I took a training.
Okay, it's SAP BI, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. And are you looking out for any specific component, or it's just the complete stuff, complete MSBI you want to go through?
Complete MSBI, preferably SSIS and SSRS.
Okay, mostly, yeah, I know, because, like, to be very frank, you don't have much of job profiles on SSIS, so I'm just looking out for any person that is, or he or she is particularly interested in SSIS. Okay, just let me know that particular point. Okay.
Okay.
So when they say SSIS, they'll have a specific kinds of requirements. Okay, so I just want to clarify the questions, that whether it will fall into MSBI or is it going to form into your data warehouse design or database architecture, or purely into your business analysis. So analysis services is a very huge topic, and MSBI is a small portion of it. Okay, so that's what I'm just like a bit interested. Okay, thanks, Hima. And Nalini, how about yourself?
I have been working for 6 years on various technologies like BizTalk,
SQL, and I have worked on DTSX. Coming to SSIS, I have been with production support experience. Even if you consider BizTalk or DTSX, I just worked on some enhancements, not from the scratch development. So I'm just interested in getting in and out of development, so that if I take up a development project, I'll be able to. Or I want to look for other jobs where there is complete development.
Okay, fine. So I think you have got a good exposure, and this is your production support. Okay. Fine, so that's not a problem.
And the thing is, before going ahead, I need some resume guidance too.
Finally, that's not a problem. So what generally I do is, you prepare a resume on your own and send it across to me. So I'll just take a look and I'll see if I can add up any roles and responsibilities in a given project or modify your resume. So that's what I do. Or else you can do the other way around. I'll send you a couple of resumes. Looking at that, you'll have to prepare your draft resume, and I'll be modifying your draft and I'll give you the final version.
Okay. Now, can we have a discussion on that? I mean, the project and stuff.
Yes, we can have it, but that will be offline and one-to-one.
Okay. That should be
Okay.
good.
So I'll not be taking up individual resumes in the sessions. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Definitely. If you have got some questions, you can just drop me an email, and if I feel that a call is needed, definitely I'll give you a call back and then I'll discuss on it. Okay. And I don't think that your resume call would be not longer than an hour. Okay. So just only explaining you the projects and all that stuff. And you do not worry, even in our trainings, I'll be also going through your real-time scenarios, and I will be also working on the sales domain. Okay.
Okay, I just want to know that whether you'll be giving some assignments or some projects to work on for us.
I'll be giving you already, or whatever I mean to say is, I'll be giving you projects that have been already developed. Okay, so you can just go through them, and then you can pull out your own business requirements and then rework them. See, if you take SSIS, I'll be giving you a package. You can modify the package and you can get the same functionality, or else take the same business requirement of that particular package and redesign the complete package by your own, using different types of components.
So in class, we are not going to discuss about any packages, it's just going to be theory?
No. Let me finish, and then I think you can ask your questions.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll have a clear-cut idea like what exactly I'm going to discuss in the sessions, what are the things that I'm going to provide you people, and then in case you still feel that something is missing out and something you're interested, you can let me know. Okay?
Okay, sure, thanks.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, Fancy? Yeah, please go ahead. You're not audible. You can just type in, not a problem. No, Fancy, you're not audible to me. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Any experience on the previous technologies? Okay, that's right. Not at all a problem. And one last question: do you have exposure to select, insert, update? I mean to say the basic SQL querying. Okay, that'll do all good. Okay. So I'll just put it as basic SQL. Okay, fine. So coming to myself, this is Naresh here, and I have got about like 9 classes into MSBI. So basically, I'm working as a SQL Server product architect. So designing your databases and data warehouses, and then helping out the customers in pulling the data from different data sources into SQL Server. Okay. So basically, I promote the SQL Server product. I help customers migrate from other data sources to Microsoft SQL Server and Microsoft Windows. Okay.
Okay, you're working on SSIS. Is that?
The complete product I work on. Okay, so myself, I'm into development, DBA, and BI. So I handle all the 3 components as per customer requirements.
Okay, without any DBA experience, can we go for this MSBI directly?
Yes. Developer is a completely different profile. DBA is again a different profile, and your MSBI is a different profile. But
Okay.
MSBI with a developer experience gives you a much weightage when compared with only MSBI. Okay, see, again it depends. If you get into reporting services, people also, see, I'll tell you all different kinds of profiles.
Okay.
You have .NET with SSRS, SharePoint with SSRS, that is your reporting services, or else they might hire you only for SSIS. That is the most job profile I have seen with MSBI. So if you are very expertised in SSIS, that is all what they look for, because these days businesses are completely relying on data exchange, and the data exchange purely works with SSIS. So if you look at your job profiles, maximum of your job profiles, let me say like 80 to 90% of MSBI job profiles look or ask for SSIS with some exposure to cubes, that is your data warehousing, and a very good and sound knowledge on your reporting services. So SSIS and SSRS go in one single profile, or .NET with reporting services, SharePoint with reporting services, and analysis services is completely a different job profile. Okay, so that's the job profile what I have seen in the US market. Okay, but again, if you look into the other side, people also look for a developer. See, that means 80% or 70% would be your SQL development, and remaining 20% or 30% would be SSIS, but not the other way around. See, I cannot say you will not have a requirement where SSIS is 80% and developer role is 20%. See, it's all the company's requirement. Okay, but I'm just giving you the maximum probability. So the maximum probability will be like 70 to 80% of a SQL developer role with some good knowledge on SSIS. So that will be one kind of job profile. Fine. And there is no relationship between your database administration and MSBI. Both are completely different. Okay. And of course,
then I'm not understanding what is SQL developer, and BA means that is completely business intelligence. That means what I understood is that is reporting services.
Yes.
Then how it is related SQL developer, SQL developer, and with reporting tool, business intelligence.
Fine. These are the three profiles that are available with your SQL Server product. Okay. When you say SQL Server developer, you are going to completely write in your SQL code. So you will not work with any of the components. Let me just connect to open up a SQL Server and show you. So here you will be completely into programming. Okay. And for this you will definitely need at least 1 to 2 years of real-time experience, and you will have to know huge complicated codes and all that stuff. Okay. So I'll just show you a sample, a couple of codes.
Okay, I don't have then real-time experience as a SQL programmer, SQL developer. Then can I do a BA?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You have to know basic select, insert, delete and update queries. And see, what they might be expecting is they might be expecting you to know what is a function, what is a stored prop. Okay. So if you have these basics, it's all done. You can do your MSBI. So that's what, let me just show you so that you'll have a clear-cut idea that you need not know SQL developer and SQL DBA to become an MSBI programmer. Okay. So basically MSBI is not a programming kind of thing. Just give me 1 second. Just 1 second. Machine is turning up. See, MSBI is pretty easy. That's the reason people start to learn with no previous experience. Okay.
Okay.
So give me a minute. The system is a bit slow. Let me restart it. Fine. And coming on to your SQL DBA, it has got nothing to do with MSBI basically. So in SQL DBA, we work on data losses and then high availability and performance. Okay. So this has got nothing to do with SQL BA. So SQL database administration is completely a different profile with a completely different job description and roles and responsibilities. Okay, so we will not overlap any of the SQL DBA functionality. Okay.
How we can have this software to practice in our laptops? Can we download a SQL Server and MSBI to practice in our laptops?
Yes. I'll be helping you out with the download and the install. Okay.
Okay.
So basically, if you see, I'm just opening up an SSIS project. Okay. You do not worry, your laptop will work as a practice platform for you all. Okay.
Okay.
So that will be the first session where I will be helping you out in order to download the software and install it. So you have your management studio. I'm just going to show you a sample program. You'll have to bear with me. It's going to be delayed for the first time. So as a SQL Server developer, you'll be working only on this particular component called database engine. Okay. But as a SQL Server BI, you'll be working on analysis, reporting, and integration services. So that's the major difference between a SQL developer and an MSBI. Okay. But being an MSBI developer, we also make use of the database engine for writing select queries. Okay. So I just get into a couple of databases. You don't have any code in this. As a SQL Server developer, you will be writing all these stored procedures. And as an MSBI developer, you will be making your use of these stored procedures. Okay. So that is the only difference. That is the major difference you have got between your developer and MSBI role. Okay. So this is all the code that you would be writing as a SQL developer. And moving on to your SSIS, you need not do anything. You just have a toolbox from where you will be dragging and dropping in. And you will be making use of those stored procedures that are already written by your SQL developers. So you can say execute some procedure called P1. So you execute the procedures or the code that are written by your SQL developers, and then you retrieve this data, and then you would be working on your SSIS packages or your analysis and reporting. Or else at the max, you might be writing your select queries to get the data. That's the reason I have told you, you people must have the basic knowledge on SQL querying. You need not be an expert and you need not be a SQL Server developer. Any questions on this? Let me know. Clear?
Clear.
Yeah. And your DBA role, you just forget it. We are nowhere concerned with the database administrators. Their job profile is completely different. They work on data losses, high availability, performances, and all that stuff. And let me tell you, they also work only on management studio. So their job would be on the tasks. Like importing and exporting data is what we do. And they would be working on shipping transactional logs, mirroring, backups, restore, shrinking the databases, taking them offline and online, detaching and attaching, and database encryptions. So these are all the functionalities of a database administrator, and import and export data is the functionality of our MSBI. So everything would be integrated and overlapped, but every functionality would be distinguished by their own roles and responsibilities. So you do not worry on that. Your SSIS or reporting or analysis is pretty easy. But the only thing that I am expecting from you people is, how can I get data from my database engine? By writing a select query, or by calling a function, or by calling a stored procedure. That's it. So let me tell you. So this is what is needed for my sessions. You need to know basic select, insert, update and delete statements, and how to call in a function and how to call in a stored procedure. And if you people are not aware on these things, let me know. I'll give you a site where you can practice this. And they are very, very basic and simple. And of course, I'll be discussing the same again when I'm calling in the data. So I'll tell you, guys, I'm just going to pull the data using this stored procedure in this manner. So how to pass on a parameter to your stored prop, and how to pass on a parameter to your function. So all these things will be needed for our SSIS developer, and I'm going to discuss those things. You need not worry. But basic select, I cannot tell you. Select star from a given table name, a where clause, and then all that stuff. So I want you people to be aware of it. And in case if someone doesn't really know it, you have W3 schools. Okay, from where you can just learn all those basics. Okay, so only that is the expectation that I have from you people. So you have, just let me do a search. Yeah. So this is all you have got, like SQL selects, okay, and you can also go and then take up a quiz, or else you can also try it. Okay, so they'll give you a sample table and they'll give you sample set of select queries. You can write them here and then you can see the result directly. Okay, so if you want, let me say I just copied this and paste it here, and I want to see the result. So this will be the result. So this is the website that I give to people basically who have no idea on select queries. Okay, but of course this is a very, very good site where you can do the basics. So select is the basic statement that we will be using repeatedly and continuously in MSBI. Apart from this, we will not need any developer or DBA experiences. Fine. Any questions, just let me know. Now coming on to your MSBI, the first portion I will be doing is the SSIS portion, where we will be discussing on ETL technologies. And when I say ETL, it's extract, transform and load. Now, and let me tell you, this is the hot technology that I have seen in MSBI. And then it's reporting services, and lastly you have your analysis. Okay, so now why is that people started using SSIS? When you buy SQL Server from Microsoft, okay, your integration, reporting and analysis come free of cost. So if I buy my SQL component, the other three components are free of cost. So basically every project would be saving on its money a lot. Okay, but if you go with Oracle or any other data sources, you will have to buy your data staging. Okay, you will have to buy your ETL technology. But if you buy SQL Server, you need not buy your ETL technology, and it comes free of cost. So this is the major advantage why the companies started to move to SSIS, because they definitely need a SQL Server along with the .NET application, and when they buy SQL Server, they already have SSIS. So they did not again go ahead and buy or put some extra cost for your ETL technology. And now, why is this increasing? Because you have data placed across several departments in our organization, or you have data placed across several organizations. And you have a great exchange of data that happens on day-to-day basis. See, for example, nowadays your banking has grown tremendously, where, for example, I have a customer from X bank and a customer from Y bank. So the customer from X bank can do the transaction in Y bank and vice versa. Okay. So because of these intra-bank transactions, or let me say you have your flights, so your traveling has also improved a lot. So for example, a passenger of one flight also needs, you have lots of connecting flights as well. So because of the day-to-day businesses, there is going to happen a lot of exchange in the data, and each organization or each department will not have the same database. See, all the flying organizations do not have their data in SQL Server or Oracle, right? So every organization is going to have the data in their own form of database. It could be SQL, Oracle, IBM mainframes, or PostgreSQL, MySQL. So you have got several data platforms. Now, in order to exchange data between different platforms, we make use of SSIS. Okay, that's the reason your SSIS has seen a tremendous growth in the recent years, and it has started. I can say the growth has started from 2007. People have started moving to SSIS from 2007 onwards. So you have SQL Server 2005, which was a great advantage for SSIS. Okay, and SSIS started from SQL 2005 onwards, and prior to that it was called as DTS. Till SQL 2000 we had no SSIS. Okay, it was called DTS. It's called Data Transformation Services. Okay, and from SQL 2005 onwards we have got SSIS. So SSIS is nothing but an advanced version of DTS. Okay, and we call it as in 2005 SSIS is technically called as DTS 90, and in SQL 2008 it's called SSIS, but technically we call it as DTS 100. And in SQL 2012, of course, you have got 2008 R2 also. It's called the same SSIS, and we call it as DTS 10.5 basically, or 105. And then you have SQL 2012 version, the same SSIS, which people used to call as DTS 110. Okay, so from business side, people call it as an SSIS, but technically speaking, it's only DTS, and this is your DTS 80 basically. Okay. Of course, nobody is really bothered about the previous versions because they are already outdated. Okay. So technically, we call them as DTS 90 or DTS 100 and DTS 110, depending upon the SQL Server version. Okay. But as a general, we call them as SSIS. And if you see very clearly, your SSIS 2005 and 2008, it's completely different. Okay. So I just go on to my tools. Just give me a second. Okay. See, you have got an option called upgrade all packages, or you can migrate your DTS 2000 package. So, for example, let me say I'm working on SQL 2012 and I have SSIS packages which are already designed in 2005 and 2008. So, whenever you want to work on those packages which are built on the previous versions, you will have to upgrade those packages because there is a bit of minor differences that you would see between all these SSISs. Okay, but that is on the internal perspective. But coming to a front-end MSBI developer role, all are the same. Okay, If you want, you can see 2012 or 2008 R2. Your control flow items are the same. They are not going to change. The interface has not changed, nothing has changed, but only the internal functionality has changed. And as an MSBI developer, we are least bothered about the internal changes. But of course, I'll tell you like what is the difference and how the component functionality varies. Okay, but it's the same process people follow. Okay, so if you are trained on any one of these platforms, that should be more than sufficient enough. Okay, so I have no issues if you people want to learn it directly on 2012 or 2008 R2. Okay, but on my system I have got SQL 2008 installed, and you people can install the same SQL 2012, the highest version, and you can practice the same on your systems as well. So I just want to clarify one more point. There is no difference you have got. Okay, so there is no difference in the practice that you have between different versions of this. All are the same. But I am going to show you on SQL Server 2008 version, and you just let me know if you what type of version you also want to practice on. Since I see you're all freshers, I would suggest you to install 2008 and then do the practice, and then later install SQL 2012 simultaneously or parallel to it, and then practice the same. But your SQL 2012 is not completely in the market. People are still making use of 2008 and 2008 R2s. Okay. So any questions? Okay, that's about the brief introduction of your SSIS. Now, what is that you are going to discuss? I am going to give you the basics. Okay, so I'll give you the theoretical portion. So I'll tell you what is an ETL process and how the systems are designed and organized. So all those stuff I'm going to do in the basics, and then we will do a hands-on. Okay, and this I'm going to have it on SQL 2008, and if someone has some issues, you can just let me know. I'll just install the newer version and show, but both are the same. You do not have any difference. Okay, and once we are done with the hands-on, then we'll see a couple of real-time scenarios, okay, where I'll be giving you a business requirement and we'll be turning them into technical components. Okay, so here the business function will be turned into technical components. So depending on different types of business requirements, what are the components that we will just have to use, because you have got n number of components. Okay, fine. And once we are done with the real-time scenarios, then we will be moving on to the advanced portions, okay, where we will do a bit of troubleshooting. So whenever we are implementing a business functionalities, we will be running through across a bit several errors and warnings. So I'll be fixing them in the advanced portion, okay, and I'll be giving you like what are the frequent errors that turn up in your SSIS and how to fix them up. Okay, so that will be your advanced session. So, and coming on to the sessions, I'll help you out first with the installation. So I'll ensure that it's all installed, and then I'll help you out with downloading the sample databases. Okay, so you need some data to work on. So I'll be helping you in downloading these AdventureWorks sample databases, so that you'll be able to download them, and then you'll have n number of tables on which we will be working. So we need some data that can be handled in SSIS and SSRS. Okay, so I'll help you out, and then I'll start off with SSIS. And once this is done, I'll move on to your analysis services. Excuse me, where I'll be giving you the data warehouse concepts, the basics data warehouse concepts, such as what is a fact table, what is a dimension table, what is your data mart, data stores. Okay, so I'll be giving you data warehouse concepts for a day or two, and then we will go on with the cube design, okay, which is multi-dimensional. Okay. Once we have done with the cube design, we will also see into data modeling and corresponding algorithms. Okay. And in data modeling, what we do is we do predictions. Okay. So we'll be also discussing, if you have got like 100 years of data, we will analyze the patterns of the business in data modeling using the corresponding algorithms. And we will be finding out what will be the profit the next year or what will be the turnover the next year. And let me tell you, your data modeling would be very, very interesting. And I'll just give you a real-time example here. You have your Macy's, right, stores. So they use this data modeling and they find out, okay, what is the best sold out color. For example, you have a handbag. So people start buying handbags. And they analyze the trends, like what color, what brand is being sold out mostly, and then they do a prediction. Okay, this color and this brand in this particular year we would be selling these many number of units. So your predictions are very, very, very particular or very specific in this. Okay, so that is one good example I can give. Okay, and if you consider your Boeing, they also use this data modeling to find out the defect patterns. So actually they'll be using some million parts to build up a single plane. So they use the same data modeling and they study the patterns of each and every part that is being used in your plane building. Okay, and then they find out like what is the probability that this particular part can be defected over a period of time. Okay, so your data modeling is used everywhere. Okay, so this is very, very important, and I will be discussing all the patterns and all the algorithms as part of your data modeling, and we'll be predicting different types of businesses. Okay, but predicting your profit and losses is a very simple stuff. Okay, they can all they also do weather forecasting using the same algorithms and modeling. Okay, so once we are done with this, I'll be showing you how to do your cube processing and scheduling. Okay, of course, even in SSIS you have the three stuff: building your project, and then deploying your project, and then scheduling your project. Okay, so we'll also be seeing these three. And whereas in your analysis services also you have your build, one extra stuff which is called your process, deploy, and then your schedule. Okay, so we'll see the complete life cycle of your integration, analysis, as well as reporting. Okay, so this is what we'll be seeing up through your analysis services. And coming on to your reporting services, we will see the design of reports first. Okay, and before this I'll also show you how to configure the report server as per the business requirement. Okay, fine. So the first question would be configuring the report server as per the business requirement. When I say business requirement, it's whether it's going to be a development environment or a testing environment or a production environment. And of course, being a developer, we will never ever touch a production. So we will see how to configure a report server similar to of a production, so that we can do the same development and same testing. Okay, and then I would say design of reports. We will do everything in design of reports. Each and every functionality and each and every concept would be discussed in your designing of the reports. And then I'll show you how to build your reports and how to deploy the reports. Excuse me. And once we have done the design, build, and deploy, we will be working on subscriptions. This is very, very important. Design of reports is very... Yeah, someone has a question? Okay. So designing of your reports is very, very easy and simple. It's more or less similar to your Microsoft Office. Okay, you just come to know as we discuss. But once you have designed your report, built the report and deployed it, so you will have to deliver the reports to the end users. So how are we going to deliver the reports to the end customers? So I have a manager who will say, I need my sales information of the previous day in my email box by every day morning 8 a.m. So we will also have to ensure the report is delivered through an email or through a website or through a folder. So there are different ways the users would be subscribing to the reports. Okay, so I've just given you a simple requirement. So the sales manager wants the previous day sales report in his mailbox instead of on his desk. So we no more have any hard copies, it's all soft copies. Okay, so what we generally do is we define or we configure a subscription and schedule it at 8 a.m. every day in the morning. Okay, so that the design or the report that we have designed is delivered with the fresh data early in the morning at 8 a.m. So this is the most important functionality that we will be having, because the other remaining things are pretty easy and simple and straightforward. Okay, you have no complexity in designing your reports, building and deploying. So this is what we will be mostly have to concentrate on. Okay. So that's about your reporting services that I'll be doing, and of course each and every model will again go through all these things. Okay, so I'll be giving you the basics, I'll give you a hands-on, and I'll be giving you a real-time scenarios and a troubleshooting steps. Okay, and coming on to your classes, we'll have like 60 to 75 minutes varying sessions. So it's mostly like 60 minutes of session we'll be having on a regular basis. And in some cases, when a topic has been taken and has not been closed, I might extend up to like more than like 10-15 minutes, not more than that. And we'll be working from Monday to Friday. And in some cases, I might take a session on Saturdays, and Sunday will be an off. Okay, mostly the working will be from Monday to Friday, and Saturdays, depending upon the workload and depending upon the course completion, I might take a couple of Saturdays, but not all Saturdays. Okay. And anyhow, I'll be giving you a heads up far before I take a session on Saturday. Okay. But from Monday to Friday, yeah, we'll be working on regularly, and the session duration will be like 60 to 75 minutes. And coming on to the total duration, I'll be needing approximately like 35 to 45 sessions. Okay. So you get a difference in your troubleshooting. Sometimes some of the queries or some of the issues can be resolved quickly. In that cases, we might finish up in like 35 to 40 sessions. But if you spend more time on questions and troubleshooting, they might extend. So there are other factors that, but mostly like 5 to 10 sessions here and there would be the difference, but not more. Okay. So that's it from my end. So any questions or any queries you have from your end, just let me know.
SSIS MDX querying and all.
Oh yeah, that's a good thing. So what I'll do is that I'll be covering up in the queue processing. So MDX, and I'll be also doing the MDX in your design of reports. So I'll be covering your MDX at your queue processing end as well as your design of reports.
What is MDX, Naresh?
It's multi-dimensional XML querying. Let me write it for you. Some people call it query or some people call it as query. Okay.
Yeah, basically I'm using a MacBook. Will it be any difficult to install the software or server?
What is that you are using? Microsoft 8?
MacBook.
MacBook, no. Let me tell you, SQL Server can be installed only on Microsoft operating system. I mean to say Windows platform.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want, you can do one thing. Mac definitely. I think you can install a Linux VMware, and on top of it host a Windows platform, and on top of your Windows platform you can install a SQL. So that will be going round and round. So just take up a decision. Okay. I would suggest to have a Windows platform in order to install SQL Server. And SQL Server cannot be installed on any other server platforms or any other OS platforms. So Windows is the only OS on which we will be able to install the SQL. Fine?
Okay. All right. I'll try.
Yeah. So any other questions or queries?
We'll be covering as part of SSIS, we'll be converting about the configuration and all, right? Configuration files, how to use, how to modify.
Come again? I did not get you completely.
I mean, in SSIS, you will be covering configuration files, how to modify.
Oh, yeah. That will be a part of your deployment.
Okay.
Yeah, let me show you. I already have those configuration files with me. Yes, you do have logging and you also have your DTS config. So I'll be showing you how to configure them up. Of course, this is not pretty easy to read. So let me open up with Internet Explorer. Yeah, so I'll be showing you how to handle your config files, and then how to change your data source properties, and then your databases, and of course your paths of your flat files and all that stuff.
Okay.
So this will be a part of your deployment.
Okay, thanks.
And do you provide course material also after ending of the classes to prepare?
Yes, I will be providing you with the PDF files, okay. Where you will have end-to-end information, like step-by-step integration services and step-by-step reporting and step-by-step analysis. So I'll be giving you 3 PDF files for you to just go through and then practice.
Okay.
Okay, so that will be considered as a material. Yeah, any other questions?
And if you need any projects to put in resume that you help, we need to consult any consultancies.
See, if you can get a project, I can get it explained for you. Okay, getting a project myself will be a tough thing for me, right? But
Okay, if you want to market ourselves, then we need to put some projects in our resume, right?
Yes. See, you can put on any project, it doesn't really matter, right?
Okay.
Okay, so getting a project is not a tough job from your end. Okay. If you want to put on my projects, yeah, you can put on my projects, but then you should know, you need to show a proof of statement that you are a part of that particular project, correct? Yeah, so what generally happens is whoever is contracting you, that particular person will be able to give you the projects that he has already handled.
Yes, better consulting them, I think.
Yes. That is the general thing that happens, okay?
Yes.
Yeah. In case you have some questions regarding the projects that your your contractor has given you, in that cases I can help you out.
And can you tell me the real-time scenarios means, okay, can you explain me what you did yesterday, like that we face in questions in interviews, then day-to-day issues, something like that. Can you provide a few examples for that too?
Interview questions I can give you, that's not a big problem for me. So you already have a predefined set of interview questions. At least like 50% I can help you out with the questions.
Okay, again that depends on project. Okay, I know that depends on project. Yes.
Yeah. See, what they'll ask you is generally, what are all the components you have worked, and you state a couple of components. Then they'll ask you what is your favorite component. So you'll have to tell them like which component you're completely thorough with. And then they'll ask you what are the general issues you have faced while deploying or building a project. And they'll ask you how comfortable you are working on variables.
Okay.
And then they'll ask you what is the scope of a variable. Then you'll have to state them, okay, these are the variables, this is the scope, and so and so. And then they'll ask you what is a manifest file, and they might ask you what is a configuration file. And they'll ask you scenarios like, I want to do a I want to do a logging in my XML file. how do you do that? So you'll have to explain them the steps. So I just go with my SSIS and then I select my SSIS login and then I am going to select in an XML file. So you just have to guide them. See. Anyway, we'll be doing that. So if we go with SSIS and then you have your login, and then here you select an XML file. So you'll have to just tell them in brief. Okay. And then they'll ask them what are your options that you select in your package configuration. Okay.
Okay.
So 1 second. So what they would ask you is, so you have got n number of things. They'll ask you this question definitely. They'll ask you what are the properties that you are going to select in for a given package in your configuration file.
Okay.
So out of all these, you'll have to say like what is mostly used. Okay, and if you are using a flat file, what are the properties that you select most? So you'll have all simple questions. They'll try to see if you are aware of each and everything inside your SSIS. Right?
Yes.
So your interview questions is not very much. Once you know the complete functionality and every option that is available in your components, that more or less the same. Okay. And in data flow, they'll ask you what is the transformation that you love a lot. Okay. So you'll have to tell one component where you are completely thorough with it. Okay. If you want, I can give you sample interview questions, and that will be covering like 50 to 60%. And remaining 20% depends on the interviewer. He might go and he might ask whatever he likes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you provide any on-job support like after we getting into a project if we have any doubts?
Yeah, definitely. I provide on-call, but again that depends on the requirement, your requirement, and that can be taken once we are done with the training.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'm done from my end. So if you have got no more questions, we will meet tomorrow again the same time, and I'll show you how to go ahead with your installation.
And classes are also are going to be same time every day from Monday to Friday, 9:30 to 10:30.
I basically work from 9:30 EST to 10:30 because yeah, I would say 9:30 PM to 10:30.
Okay.
Thank you.